Hey everybody, it's Robot here from Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com, the premier dealership here in San Diego, California for all things Vespa. So if you're looking for a mail order shop, ScooterWest.com. If you're looking to purchase a new scooter, have service or custom work done, check out our dealership, Vespa Motorsport. So on to the subject of this video. What's the hot color here? Now it's almost 2020. There's a lot of hot new cars out. They're in army green, so it's a pretty popular color right now. Right next to the scooter I have a Moto Guzzi that has the army green flat finish fuel tank on it. It's a V7 stone with the matte green. Well, I have a customer, Andrew Santana. His scooter was like knocked over in a parking lot. Just unfortunate. It's a 2017 GTS. He loves this scooter, and now it has a big ugly scratch, indented in cowl. We put it through insurance. The insurance company says, okay, we'll repaint the cowl, the front fender that has a little scratch, and the one skirt. He sends me a photo of a vintage P200 in a color combination that's similar to the pair of these toolboxes, both like full desert colors. You got army green and tan. And I said, oh, that looks pretty cool, those two colors. And asked if we could do something like that. And I said, well, unfortunately, to repaint every part on the scooter is going to cost a bit extra, you know, painting all the inner parts. But I said, we can like kind of flare it up by doing a combination of the army green and mix it with the gray, and let's see how it works out. So the rest of his scooter doesn't have any damage. This is the original titanium gray on his Super Sport GTS. And we repainted the cowls. My painter did a really nice and careful masking job of the cowls, and we painted a couple of extras. I'll throw in a couple extras. I'll put this in the paint batch, so the front handlebar cover and also the horn cover to kind of break it up and give it that two-tone look. It turned out pretty cool. You know, it's like a little bit different with having green with the contrast of the kind of the cool gray. But it's definitely a very military kind of, you know, industrial look. And the more I see it, the more I like it. So I'll go around the scooter, kind of show you what we did. So pretty much this job was paid for by the insurance claim for the most part. You know, normally I'd just do a regular repair. The majority of insurance jobs that we do here in our service department, I have scooters I brought from all over the place because I don't think there's too many dealers that do like higher end paint work on Vespas, both vintage Vespas and modern Vespas. So people kind of come from far away, and also our local customers will do insurance jobs. You know, if you crash your scooter, you want it looking new. And I have a lot of customers that say, oh, can I just repaint this for like 200 bucks? I'm like, I'm sorry to say, we're not that kind of shop. Just like the professional paint world for cars, there's professional bodywork places that repair cars to like new condition. And there's places like Earl Scheib. Nothing against Earl Scheib, but they kind of have this reputation that's called a tape and rape, which is just pretty much put some newspaper on the area you want to mask and just paint right over the stuff, you know, with cheap paint. And unfortunately, to the untrained eye, it might look good enough. There's a coat of paint on it. But to somebody that looks at vehicles and critiques them quite a bit, like me, that, I don't know, I'm pretty obsessive when it comes to detail. I like things painted perfectly. And to paint things correctly like a Vespa, you need to take them pretty far apart to do a professional paint job. Enough about talking about the paint job quality. Let me show you the scooter and what it's got on it. So a job like this typically costs about 2,500 bucks for this amount of paint work. That includes the mechanic's labor to disassemble the scooter, pull the fork out, dismantle the whole scooter, prep it for the paint and body work, and then the majority of the cost is the paint and body work. Get a custom color match. Instead of matching the gray, I matched it right to that Moto Guzzi tank. He also opted to go for the bar end mirrors. That didn't really cost any more because one of the mirrors was damaged when the scooter tipped over. And I originally just quoted one of the chrome lollipops. He says, how about let's just put the bar end mirrors? Perfect time to upgrade, you know, if you're doing like a paint work or a crash repair. You know, I love it when the customers want to upgrade their stuff, change the look of their scooter. You know, it's the perfect time to do it. I always hate when I got a brand new scooter and I got to repaint it. We've done that many times. I mean, I appreciate the custom work, but you're like, scooter comes with a pretty decent paint job out of the factory. I know some people complain about rust on them, but that's not really a problem here in San Diego underneath the frame. But you know, we're happy to paint a brand new scooter, or if you have a vintage Vespa, it needs a ton of body work, where most of the cost of the restoration would be the body work, you know, to the sheet metal, all the hammer and dolly work. But so I said I'll throw in a couple extras. We'll paint the handlebar cover, we'll paint the horn cover. The fender was originally quoted to be replaced. Instead, I repainted the original fender, filled in the reflector holes to save them a little bit of cost, because oftentimes the reflectors are damaged if you're going to replace the fender, or you need new reflectors. But to give the scooter a cleaner look, you don't want those silly reflectors. So moving on to the rear, I'll show you the seam line. So the painter, he pretty much, what he did is masked this, shot the base coat. You don't feel the line at all. It's perfectly smooth. And so he shot the base coat along with doing the body work. You know, there's dented in, so he had to knock that out. It was actually the other side, so we pulled the evap canister out to give them room to work, you know, do the hammer and dolly work. Pound the cowl back out, put a small amount of body filler on it. Then he shot the green base coat on top of the existing silver, and we just barely scuffed up the original silver paint on it. And then he shot the whole entire rear of the scooter with a special type of clear coat that flashes over in this matte finish, just like the scooter was originally. Andrew's already had some other options, such as that Acropovic pipe. He has a rack that we don't necessarily sell, sold by Classic Racks in UK. You can mail order those. Shipping's a little bit to get them over to the States, but I have some customers that have this sporty rack. Looks pretty cool. I think they come in some other finishes, but you can see the website, kind of give them some props. Some inexpensive mirror plugs to fill the caps. We have the plugs for both the 2017 and older bikes, such as this bike. They're inexpensive little caps. Didn't paint them, they're black, but they cover a lot better than having a hole. Or if you have a 2018 and newer, there's a cap available. I'll put the part number in the description. It's available both in gloss black that we paint here in the shop, or unpainted that you can paint in the same color as your bike to fill the, you know, the newer headset where they don't have these reservoir covers. I just want to share this bike with everybody. Thought it's kind of interesting. You know, in the comments, chime in if you love it or if you hate it. It's definitely a little different, and an easy way to have something custom like no one else. Do that pretty easily with some basic paint work to a scooter. And unfortunately, when you have some incident where it's a crash repair, that happens to be the ideal time to do some customization like this. This is Robot from Vespa Motorsport and ScooterWest.com. Follow us on Instagram, Vespa Motorsport. Follow me, Robot Vespa, on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the little bell to get notified on the videos. Usually I do anywhere from 1, sometimes 4 videos a week, just depending on how much time. Obviously, it's summertime, I don't have much time. If you're looking to have custom work done, you can email the service department on the web form on our website, vespamotorsport.com, or you could call us 619-280-1718, and we're happy to discuss options to do a custom paint and body work to your scooter.